Hey guys, Tyler2K here. I'm not usually one to start up drama, but I think a video like this needs to be made in regards to this weekend's Tekken 7 announcement. So, for those people who weren't able to watch the stream where they actually did a replay of a tournament, I think it was the DMG tournament from last year, at the very end of the stream, they made an announcement as to what we're going to learn of big news coming up. And basically, what's going to happen is on the Tekken channel, they will be holding exhibition matches, Bronson Tran versus Run It Black, Poke Chop versus Anakin, and Peeling versus Suiken. Basically, making things obvious, those are all regional matches. So the connection should be good. We should get some high-level Tekken, and that's great. And, it's cool that it's happening. But at the same time, I really, really, really feel like that this announcement is really another example of how tone deaf either the Tekken team or some PR team for the Tekken team overall has become. We're basically getting no information as to future content, which is okay because usually the release schedule is circa, Evo time. So we still have a few months before we find out if we're going to get Tekken 8 or Season 4. That's okay. But the complete lack of any transparency or information coming from like the Tekken team or whatnot is what's really, really troubling. So obviously when Leroy had come out, there was the huge, let's call it a kerfuffle of the problem going on where basically Leroy was released and Namco, or the Tekken team I should say more accurately, complete radio silence. So then, the video had come out, the leak had come out where the patch notes were supposed to be done earlier. I still give Namco the benefit of the doubt in regards to this. Maybe they were planning on doing it, something come up, who knows, whatever. People kind of let their imaginations run, and it was like, they knew all along, they were OP, whatever. And it got to the point where, Leroy was completely dominant, not surprisingly. 6 of the top 8 characters at the I think that was Evo Japan, I can't remember, were, Leroy. Not surprising. Leroy won the tournament. The best player still won, but you can definitely make the argument that Leroy was super dominant, and there was no surprise that he was the best character and was so highly represented. Over time, they slowly nerfed the character. They've got him to a point where they've kind of still, similar thing, and I've talked about this, have essentially nerf the wrong things on Leroy and leave some things that should be nerfed unnerfed. Like, for instance, his hell sweep still is a tracking move. The combo structures that they got rid of with the down forward 4-3 doesn't really affect his manual combos, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. But, they nerf things like down forward 1-4, yet they leave his other strings just fine. Hearing about the down forward 1-4 nerf, I'm surprised they didn't nerf a thing like forward 2-3-4, which in my opinion is way more oppressive. Overall, they doesn't quite, I don't know if it's a balancing problem or a communication problem or just kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, but it's pretty perfectly shows how, once again, tone deaf the team is. So now, obviously, Leroy comes out. Leroy, not quite as strong as, not Leroy, but Fakum Lam, FHM, not quite as strong as Leroy out the gate, but still arguably super strong. As time has gone on now, where we're getting a sense of his hurtbox issues, we're finding things that aren't completely missing against him. We're finding out more and more about how broken this character is. Once again, I'm not talking like mechanically, like his options are oppressive, kind of like Leroy out of the gate was and over time was, but still he has very strong moves, but more importantly has incredible movement and also has issues with his hurtbox. So despite the fact that he's this gigantic, tallest character in the game, he basically has the hitbox. People have made an analogy to essentially him being like Ling. So not only does he have God range, he has Ling's mobility and evasiveness. He has consistency, which I will be making a video about that. I have a bunch of videos in the pipeline. This kind of has come up, and I really feel like I need to talk about it. But consistency, damage, range. He has pretty much everything. So as such, most high-level players put him at the top of the list there. since we don't have a offline scene to properly gauge it, we've kind of have to take Pakistan at their word. Obviously, Pakistan has some great players. No surprise, FHM is at the top of their list. But I think when we get the next big sort of offline scene, we'll be okay and find out truly how strong he is. With that being said, COVID-19 has been a thing for, over 2 months now of essentially lockdown all over the world. I presume the Tekken team has people working at home, and at the bare minimum, I assume the Tekken team has people with their thumb or their finger on the pulse of the community. They see that Fakam Lam is broken. They know all this information. Sure, maybe they haven't been working on it, or maybe they have. Hopefully they have. But at the same time, to get an announcement today, especially after hyping this announcement up, to get basically zero information as to what they're going to do with the game is really disheartening. And once again, that's why I call them tone deaf. At the bare minimum, we could have got a simple announcement saying, hey guys, we understand Fakam Lam is broken. We see the problems. Thank you for your reports on the issues. We will be addressing this in a patch next month or upcoming. They don't even have to be specific. But to say absolutely nothing about this character really, really hurts. It really hurts. And I don't understand what they're doing there. It just makes absolutely zero sense. And to get no information, even something as simple as they understand the problems, is so misguided that it's really a betrayal. If you were to watch the Twitch chat, you'll understand how mad people are. You might see myself in there being like, hey, this is the announcement, right? And then as the reality creeps in that they have no intention on explaining anything is so insane. So, yeah, like I said, I'm usually not the person to do this. I was thinking about posting this on my other channel, which would be more, for this type of content. But it's really insane. Here's a couple of quick examples of things they could have done otherwise. They could have simply made an announcement, as we mentioned, Fakam Lam being broken, and they're working on it. That's perfectly fine. 1 minute work. You can lie to her face, but at least you understand and make it known that that's a problem. Second thing, they could have shown a preview video of the very bare minimust of showing a simple bug with Fakam Lam that was been fixed. For instance, with wall bounce, if you just showed a video of a wall bounce where he got hit after a wall bounce occurred and he got wall splatted, that's it. Once again, that is, work that hopefully Namco has already been doing. Make a video. Don't even have to edit it. You just put the mofo online and show us that you're working on it. Boom. That's good. 5 minutes of work, and we feel great about it. Once again, most people understand that you guys typically do your release cycles for, circa July or August. So, we're not expecting a real announcement, but any little glimpse of hope that the Tekken team has any semblance of what they're doing would be so greatly appreciated in a situation like now. We know most of us are stuck at home. Most of us are dealing with the crappy Tekken 7 connection issues. God knows, we would love to hear an announcement maybe about some sort of delay netcode improvement or possibly rollback improvement. I'm not holding my breath, but at the same time, that still would be infinitely better than anything we've got. So I'm super hyped for the upcoming tournament. That is in June 4th, if I remember correctly. That's basically 1 week from today, Namco. You can once again make the announcements I literally just said 1 minute ago. It put our mind to ease. Please, Namco, anything. Once again, you can lie to our faces. Just please address the fact that there is a problem with this character and you are literally killing the game with no information. The game has been out for over 6 years. It's time for some information, more transparency, anything. Your release cycles are not going to sate the community long enough. Your game will die. Evo is the only thing that's keeping it alive currently. Everyone hates it online. There's no offline scene currently. Do the math. Those annual, release cycles of seasons aren't going to keep the community afloat. The game's going to collapse pretty damn quick if you don't actually show that you care. You're killing the hardcores. Luckily, thank God, there's a low tier or beginner scene currently with a revival. You gotta roll with the punches now. You take that momentum. Give us any information for the people who care about this game, because once the beginners fall off, it's over.